Künstler SEAK Claus Winkler. Artist SEAK Claus Winkler. What am I seeing here? Oh, this is, by the way, this video is an art performance, art performance video, as well as an artwork itself. You know, we have the anti-white system here, and Moloch's free air gulag, the settling areas in Central Europe. So, yeah, this is a video about my art. Yeah, so what am I seeing here? I'm seeing works from me, artist SEAK Claus Winkler. I'm painting these these layers of paper works since 2019. Most of the other paintings from me are in progress since 1989. That's the earliest canvases or paintings I have here, as well as 2000er years, and some from 2010 on. And everything is painted from both sides. So I'm seeing here lots of highly stylized, abstracted letters, which I painted on walls, trains, objects, trucks, all around the world, in so far almost 28 countries. The paint is roller paint, spray paint, marker, like those fine line markers, spray paint. In terms of significance, there's of course subliminal significance. My work, or my name, works like a lindworm who steers the universe, people, society, thinking on a very subtle, indirect way. And this goes in all kinds of directions, not just in good directions. Let's pretend I'm like an evil pro-white person. It's pretending. Yes, it steers into that direction, the universe, the odds, the favors, the cards, the norns decide, but also in the other direction. I can give you prominent examples of patterns I observed. You wouldn't believe. My take is, the word SEAK created the word remigration, as well as made someone like Martin Sellner become Martin Sellner, but also Merkel opening the gates. And yes, she was in coalition conference with my old buddy Christian Lindner for many, which I knew from the mid-90s on. So this is just a few examples of pattern recognitions. I can give you also like non-important or non-large, or these days significant, how you want to call it, examples. I did that also in other videos. And maybe you believe me when you get that it goes in all directions. I have a certain way of seeing my work or my art, as well as the letters. And often I'm not going by what I'm painting. I'm going by my name and the letters in my name and the meanings, which are also the main attraction or key central object in my paintings also, which also is represented in colors. I see also colors as things which have names, and names have letters, so everything is really going into the detail. Each pigment here has a color. Each color has a connotation, a letter, a meaning, and each form also. But let's try to keep it it's levels, and then maybe this was too much rabbit hole for you in the beginning. By the way, I realized in jokes, like joking to myself while explaining someone something, having like little hunches. I mean, my A's look like heads, like those round forms. They look like heads, or not heads, like heads in terms of like a head, HEAD. Not getting head, that also, but like a head. And then, this is like a small A's, for example. But this also looks like a head, HAT. Yeah, tiny hats, people with tiny hats. But then I could deduct this to also this house, my childhood, my interest in history, and my grandmother here had something to drink which called Hohes, means high C, like HOHES, and then the letter C was like a drink, I think from Granini, I don't know from which brand, and it was supposed to be the expensive drink. Orange juice in Germany in the 80s and 90s was as precious as it is, say, French sparkling water from France, or pralines with alcohol in the US, it's like they're expensive, it's like special. It's like when amateurs get Coke on New Year's Eve or on Sylvester, it's like one time a year, kind of. I mean, not one time a year, but, you get it. So the point is, and the words of the alleged group, I didn't know that I was going this direction, but it's one, I mean, I'm just explaining patterns to myself, means also phonetically, you have to expand somehow, rectum maybe, or you take this guy, it's in the name. That's how the name is connotated. Maybe it's similar to, I don't know, in the word Americans, people should marry or should be happy cans, tin cans or something. I don't know. Like, it's like very obvious. I'm obsessed with language and words and stuff like that too. Because also, why I'm obsessed with that, because it's like a blind point in communication which drives everybody crazy. So, for example, my grandmother, which was German, I mean, she made like the best cake, everything, but there was also this juice, like Hohes, orange juice. I'm talking about I'm not meaning this is in a double manning censorship way talk in this house, and she had this and was like drinking. I was like the best cake, but also drinking orange juice was like for me something special because I couldn't have that at home. And I was reading this book from Wilhelm Busch, as well as Our Centuries in Pictures, which had a significant impact. And that now comes the kicker. The word Claus usually is written with a K. And KL is the official term for the system which was in place here in Germany to incarcerate lots of people. That's the official term, I mean, but nobody uses that term in that way. KL, the KL system. I don't want to go more into the details because this gets maybe too spicy for some people, and then people have NPC reflexes. I'm explaining it to myself here too in freestyle. So this system, yeah, and my problem is that I'm growing up as Claus Winkler with a C. I'm just while we are talking here, I'm freestyling this. I'm explaining myself patterns in my life, And what I felt always like Claus with this. Usually it's Claus with a K, which is aesthetically for me absolutely bizarre, hard, and in hindsight, completely up crazy to be named Klaus with a K. But the norm is like that. Like, you guys, when you speak English, Santa Claus with a C. But this is the Americanized version or the English version. Claus in German is with a K. So I'm written with a C. So when for example, when I was in school or everywhere and new teachers had to write my name, it's Klaus was a Klaus, and then I was like, with a C. And it doesn't matter how fast I said it, Klaus with C, they had corrected. They had to correct the K then later with a C again. So, and CL, Klaus with a C, it's like a minimal, a super small unit for liquid measurement. You would say measure a snaps, a shot in CL. This goes like with numbers in a certain context, and small numbers and large numbers. It goes into an interesting direction. You can believe me. And if I show you how, I don't want to even mention it, but this this is this goes beyond. It includes then street names I can't mention here and stuff like that. It's completely crazy, but this is like how. Yeah, and I have the word KL, the lettering KL, also in my family name, but then in the right way, KL, like Winkler, it's also within KL. And I'm dancing here in conversation around the bush because I could explain it in a much optimal way. What is one aspect of what is steering me subconsciously, and how I behave or think or came to conclusions or reckoned patterns or stood cold on certain topics. Also, with the knowledge that I knew, this happened a few 20, 30 years before in South Africa. Interesting. This happened there. So, and you have to know that the letters, and like single letters as well as 2-letter combinations and 3-letter combinations, are steering everybody in their mind, in their name. Everybody has a name, and those micro name letters and connotations in the names are steering people. Everybody who has a successful social media account knows that, because they are constantly steering with colors and forms people to buy this or that product or anchor people in a productive way, And so in case you think like I'm talking bullshit or something, well, those people who have a running system, it's called copywriting, by the way. And when you have a personal brand, you at some point have to work with that. Anyway, so basically you become like a chirurg, or you have to put words new together and all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm going through the world painting letters, and it says SEAK in terms of searching, but also SEAK in Germany, when you spell it a little bit different, means victory. Yeah, who has won what, they, them. Then you have like the term thick in terms of something is ill or something looks crazy good. So it's all on that frequency, and that goes and it keeps on being on that frequency of words. It's really a shame that I can't go for legal reasons to explain you more detailed one aspect, which is valid, on why I'm painting. Seems like, I mean, I'm reverse engineering, deducting here everything, because it could be legally too dangerous for me, because it could be framed. And plus it would overwhelm people. And also one aspect, for example, where I'm living here, it's created an aspect because where my forefathers are from East Prussia, it's connected also to that, and that people, Yeah, it's the borders of communication. If I would be maybe at a later stage, let's say if the replacement keeps on keeping on, if I have lots of white children, as well as probably multiple wives for all these children, being a good father, painting, and then probably I will probably have to, let's say, or not have to, there's the word veto inside. Probably, let's say, God forbid, I just have daughters. I mean, I will keep on keeping on till I have lots of sons too. You probably have to, at some point, have to settle to a more wider area. And then maybe the question is, will it be the USA or not? And then I probably could go more into the detail regarding patterns in certain directions. Yeah, you probably already got that, or getting that this here is non-NPC land and not normie land. And this is a progress. I've reckoned already patterns. I mean, you would have considered me being a normie or an NPC like 5 years ago too, but I wouldn't have considered myself that, because I was like deep into being Manosphere Red Pill, plus I watched, consumed like for many years from 2000, late 90s, 2000 onward, constant POA content. First stuff from LimeWire from the USA, then from also from Germany a little bit. So yeah, this is still about art, because what I reckoned when I was talking about the KL thing, then which I'm dancing so much also around the bush, is was that when I was talking about it, it seemed like, well, you saw this image. It said, well, it seemed nowadays, it seems crazy that the word Claus is written with a K. Why is that? Well, I'm also looking here at the word on one of my paintings in a stage where it already looks good. So a Claus Winkler with a C painted that, maybe that's the reason. But also in the word SEAK phonetically is like, starts with a C, with the letter C, and goes into the K, could also be a G if you want to spell it how you want to spell it. And this reflects this always thing when there is a teacher or a person who collects the names, and I had to spell my name, and it was always like, oh, okay, I wasn't saying it fast enough, la-di-da-di-da. So this also is in my name inside. Plus, because I start liking this level of painting, which is our SEAK styles, for me, my perception changed, and the word and the name Claus with a K is like, I don't know. It just seems wrong in a way. I don't know, for lack of a better word. Yeah. So anyway, so you're seeing here lots of pieces with spray painted. The fine lines are done with airbrush. Then with how do you call that? With a brush. I don't know if there's any marker stuff here. Here there's those red and blue red lines there, which look like a landscape. Looks was more like just playing with a ladder, with I don't know, with lines. It's done with fine liner, I guess. This is also still work in progress. I did from this so far just a few pieces, because I just bought this one roll, and all these large paperworks, most of these, except just a few, very few, are from this roll. I don't know if I in the future will keep on painting on paper. I love the medium, that's not the point. The point is that I have already so much small pieces, and I want to have more large canvases. So I will in the future just paint more large paintings on canvas. They are also more robust. Yeah, these are all letters. And you can take this letter thing to the extreme. Taking for example the word letters. You have like Latin there, but also the word RS for example in German it's called Rassenschande, and in English it's called race shame or race trading. So you could say, oh, this is something negative, but you can also say it's like what are letters describing? Do they describe what's bad or what's good? For example, Buchstaben in Germany, the BEN in Buchstaben is also sliding on the frequency on banning something. So or letters means to let something. It's ambivalent and it goes in all kinds of directions. It's similar to if people with buzzwords or something or anything accusing you and making a fuss about something, they're also saying the very opposite of what they wanting to say. And depending on you listen to it, and if you're not steered emotional, it's kind of like surreal, which is difficult when you are seriously or really want to do something with a message which has a natural intent, let's say preserving your people or something, how to use words where when you decide words and go into the detail of the words, how that the words aren't counterproductive or like turning against you. Someone who's really good in analyzing how certain people are using words against other people is Jason Köhne. I also mentioned him here on art, or put him here into an art context on my house. He's right next to Gary Plautsche on my wall, and Albert Leo Schlaggetter, which we celebrated yesterday his death memorial day where he was fallen. Keep on keeping on. So I could recommend Jason Köhne. He is dissecting those think tank words. So and what I'm doing while painting is often also thinking about how my work or how my letters are steering people and influencing and nudging people. And also with other words, and this came from the wanting or the need, or how you want to call it, to market myself, because my name can suggest, SEAK Claus Winkler, like, hey, you do something for me, jump and do it for free, and la di da di da di da, which would bring me into the ego and the other person down, but. That name also says I don't do it for you, f you, but here I'm giving you without knowing a little hint on what you have to do, which is so it's also like this, like telling or snitching on oneself, or self-sabotaging. For example, leftists making talking allegedly like bullshit about me and pretending and talking something about me, in the hope that I will take up the rage bait and then do what out of stubbornness what they're accusing me. So then they have a trap, which I self-created, which is like a pattern. People are using. I don't know how that propaganda technique is called. What I also reckoned is that if people do me harm, that Odin or the Norns, this is how I'm explaining it to myself, are taking care of business, and they're doing that in a way which is which goes beyond what I can legally say in most countries of the world. In America, I think I would have to put an I think in front of it. I have been told by friends who are doing things. So the point is, Oh, it's called fat posting. No, that's the point is with the pattern, and I reckoned this as a child already. Like I've been told, like yeah, when I do this, and then I hurt the other children, and because I reckoned probably also already that because then later there a pattern with names happened with with you could say a body count of people who thought they could try it with me, and then after a while they were they and or people around them and that is maybe a pattern I watched, and now we have a perspective which is interesting because that means that children are already recognizing, okay, and this happens. I don't have to do something because then those people will experience later on this. Okay. So if I want to, defend myself in a maximum way, I don't do nothing because it was in my case a pattern I reckoned. Later on, the universe, the gods, I already knew back then the North gods because I had Was ist was books and stuff like that, will take care of business, or my intuition, because I know what I painted as a small child, what kind of Nordic symbols, legal Nordic symbols. Don't you worry, my system drones, it's all good. There are probably words for that. So how is art affecting that? What am I making visible with my art when I know or have this perspective of the world and of reality? Like, and so this is and maybe, and how are my conclusions I'm having here? I mean, I'm having these conclusions while watching paintings painted by me, which are created because of all these layers, some kind of like intelligent force field or matrix, if you will, or coded information visual, which includes the letters from my name, and my name describes the patterns I'm describing. Yes, with the knowledge that letters are also in colors, in forms, in composition, in haptic. Maybe I leave you with that. And also a nice photo of me or film me so that you can have like picture on here. Hello. So this is in no way, shape, or form has to do anything with anything. It's just crazy art talk and pattern deduction with letters. So what does my art says seek? I mean, is there separation between the words as well? I mean, the word, the artist's name, as well as what people are seeing if they don't know the name, and how it will affect people. I mean, I guess I came up with the word seek because of the movie They, And yes, these days, I was very close understanding that the TH in They stands for tiny hats. And even that, you can even that deduct that deeper. And it keeps on keeping on. What helps with the word seek or seeing my art is you have to be resistant or overcome the the disgust, shame, disgust, thought or impulse. Probably goes easier in English because you have more E sounds there than in German. And if you can do that, you have a less cuckish or less. I mean, on the other hand, okay, if you're not disgusted by your spouse, wife is marrying is off the table anyway, but the mother of your children being railed by like hundreds of people, then you have a problem too. So this is like, there we go. We are again at the level of perception. On the other hand, if the woman sees you that you are feared and attached to her, that she can do something with others, then she has you by the balls. So yeah, we should talk about keep it superficial, like superficial art, like Peter Paul Rubens painted his paintings by himself, blah blah blah. Talk of art, like boomer truth art, No, we don't do that. We don't do that over here. So what I will do in the rest of the I will do now, I will upload this video, and then I will have a more coffee, and then I'm enjoying this summer day, and I must here clear my house or rearrange my house because I will have some major changes here in my studio. Plus, I will watch a few live streams from my Lord and Savior, General Nathan Bedford, handsome, truth, John Minadeo Forrests, peace be upon him. And I'm hoping for some nice Omi TV streams and not just the clip shows. But the clip shows are very important too because we can learn something. It's about strategy and patterns. And yes, I've woken up to the activities of certain people fully, clearly, also because of him 2 years ago. So, which sounds crazy because my subconscious knew everything. And I always, when I small talk with people or with boomers, I appeared like the OG noticer. But that was just my subconscious. So when you are consciously knowing something, doesn't matter what, how deep then goes your perception of reality? I mean, it must crystallize and keep on crystallizing, Yeah. So, but you can also see my art in a totally different other way. Like, hey, how about that? Yeah, my art is like this. I'm coming from the graffiti scene. I love spaceships. I love machines, military stuff, civilian stuff, vehicles, because technique, because the project's character, it's interesting. I'm a boy, I'm a man, I'm a male. A man, I think male has already left his talk. So I love also deducting things. I want to have success. I want to make my weaknesses into my strengths, barriers to benefits. The spray can is round, gives a round element. I can't paint straight lines. I'm new to the graph world, rather new to the graph world in the beginning 90s still. Learned about graph in the 80s and saw my first graph there, and also did my first sketches in tech and also spray painted my first piece in the 80s. I don't want to fall into this rigid, like you have to paint it like this and like that, because this is how I didn't. Because I was sketching and painting long before. Also in the late 70s, also with a message for my people and supporting my people and regarding my identity. I learned about 5D chess and how liberalism works and how you have to, play the pendulum. but this was inside me already. Then I had all my cultural, social influences. Yeah, and I came up with this style and integrated everything from myself, what I experienced, what I liked, what was taboo, what others were afraid of. Also, what the word Klaus Winkler was getting from the universe, because I'm reading the subconscious of the people and my surrounding, you know. So in case you want to frame me, blah blah blah, you know, I'm reading the subconscious of the people around me, because I explained this already in another video. I don't have to repeat that again. Yeah. Any more NPC explanations of my art? This is not NPC. This is like I can explain my work in all kinds of different levels, and they're all valid, correct, and they can be absolutely totally different than the they can be absolutely totally different than what I just said before, you know, and they're all true. And because the system is controlled by this, the art system is probably also controlled by certain people. They are. I would assume that they're all anti-whites, at least, because if they are not pro-white, then the people in power are definitely anti-white, and then they rule that system. So I can also say the truth, because there's nothing to gain in the art world anyway, because the game is rigged. And when Gerhard Richter rigged, the game is rigged, and he lives from here with a bicycle, I don't know, 20 minutes. So this means that SEAK Claus Winkler suggests that people should keep on rigging the system, or the other way around, that my name suggests that those who rig the system and are in control are giving up and saying, hey, all those people who are woken up now, they can take over. Or the other way around, you know, it's like in between. So yeah, I hope you are enjoying here a good time with me talking about my art and my letters. This is also paper. The thicker lines are airbrush, the small lines are fine liners from Molotov Premium, a spray can, the spray can company with best stuff. And these are all miniatures, because I used to paint this, or should paint this in large size. Even this is a miniature, considered to how fast or how large I can go. Or I can paint, whatever. So yeah, see you in the next video. I hope you have a productive, great day. Not great day, great day. And I'm finishing this this video with a quote from Martin Sellner, which I'm supporting since 2 years every day. I hope I'm a good contribution to him. That you have to transform your life into an act of resistance, your whole life, on all levels. And that's the only people I have with. So if you caught me slipping, remember me. Yeah, it's what else should I say? There's this one movie everybody should watch. I can't mention here. I won't mention here. Yeah, be creative. Find your own way. This here is not resistance. I mean, this is maybe very subliminal resistance, but these paintings are also still work in progress. And I probably will at a later stage will integrate something here into it, so that it will be impossible for neutral people, or people who want to duck away and cuck away, and or system people, don't want to hear it, the boomer truthers, stuff like that, that they yeah, they're, that they have to face, that they have to come into action. Because, yeah. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your interest. You know what to do.